Vinay, good evening. You are able to hear me clearly?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay. You are able to hear me clearly?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Yes, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, we'll start exactly at 8:01.
Right, sir.
I think we'll start at 8 itself. More than 10 people are there. So I don't want to waste their time.
Sure, sir.
Okay, I'm starting. Vinay. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. 12th July 2022. The topic is it 1991 once again? An idiot's perspective. Good evening. It was end of May 1991 when the former PM Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated near Madras. I used to be in Madras during those days, and it was quite shocking for all of us when it happened all of a sudden. Um, Incidentally, 2 years prior to that, India was in an economic downturn, and now the political downturn also had started. So I would say it was one of the worst times for India. And now the economy had virtually gone bust. The forex reserves were dwindling day by day. Hardly anything left. The country had pledged gold with the Bank of England. For people who are, who are not experienced those days, why it was unimaginable in terms of both political and economics. If you can think of a visualization of the vulture circling over a dead body, that was what was happening then. Then a relatively weak minority government was sworn in. Narasimha Rao, who was the prime minister, who became the prime minister, had actually retired from politics, and he was forced out of politics, forced out of retirement, and he had to come and take over reins of the government. It was a minority government. He tried getting IG Patel as the finance minister. He refused. So he had to go for a second choice, a man in blue turban. So inflation was running in double digits for the past 2 years, about 12 to 13%. And forex reserves uh, were at $1 billion. $1 billion. At that time, rupee was 25 to a dollar. So it was about 2,500 crores. Um, you see, when you actually looked at $1 billion, what could it fetch? As Manmohan Singh, the finance minister, read out in his speech, were just amounting to 2 weeks of imports. 2,500 crores, for instance, today's context is one fourth of the quarterly profits of TCS. Okay. And if you compare with Sri Lanka, its forex reserves which are about $3 billion, and Sri Lanka is supposed to be bankrupt. India in 1991 was more than bankrupt, but thankfully not bankrupt of ideas. When the chips are down, invariably India rises again and again. I will point it out to you in the next 20 minutes. When Manmohan Singh got up to announce his maiden budget among great opposition, because you see, IMF had dictated that budget because we were beggars. So he said in his maiden budget, which was path breaking till today, we remember that. He quoted Victor Hugo, a very famous literator. He said, "No power on the earth can stop an idea whose time has come." So he said that is the idea of India, a new India, a vibrant India. What he said those days looked very ridiculous because there was no chance in hell that we will get over that hump. We were a basket case, not almost. We were a basket case. But then 30 years later, we cannot believe that we actually went through a phase like that. I remember it very well because soon after that speech, I decided to quit a well paid job in advertising. I was with Ogilvy. People thought I was a fool. because I was bullish on India. Like people think I'm an idiot because I'm bullish on India right now. So welcome to Spaces today, where we'll examine the topic, is it 1991 once again, from an idiot's perspective. The idiot is none other than me. My name is Vijay, who has been in the market since 1991. First as an intermediary, as a sub-broker on the Madras Stock Exchange, went to the floor, member of OTCI, then member of NSE. I'm an investor right from 1982. I'm a trader, I'm a trainer, and a teacher in capital markets at various colleges in Chennai, and currently I'm doing that in Mysore on a temporary basis. With me today are my co-host Vipin, whom you all know is a very successful market timer, apart from being a hedge fund manager. I think Vipin will join us a little later. Vinay is my other co-host, who will moderate the session after I speak for about 20 minutes. And Vipin, if he joins us, then he'll be the final speaker. I expect this session to be run around for about 2 hours. Question answers and discussions will happen after I complete what I need to say. This topic, actually, I didn't want to do spaces so frequently. I did one just last week. I thought I'll do once a month or maybe once in 2 months. But this came about because, the events of last few days, especially of yesterday's RBI policy and the aftermath of it. It was the RBI policy has been, not welcomed by the market, very lukewarm, because even today the rupee has fallen against the dollar. So most experts would say that the RBI is behind the curve. They are not able to manage this thing, and invariably this will fail. Rupee will go to 85 or 100. The people talking 110, but the least bearish of them is talking of 85. In my opinion and my experience, I am not an expert. I'm just an experienced guy who has seen it all since 90s. I have seen this picture third time, 91, 2013, and this is the third time I'm seeing the picture. So by now, if you see a movie 3 times, you'll by and large know the dialogues. You'll know who comes in when, you know who will romance whom, who will get the girl, who will fight, and who will die at the end. So since this is the third time, I think I'm in a much better position to speak about and to talk about what happened then and how it compares to today. Okay? Believe me, I've spent about 10 hours to collect this data. I have got lots of data, but I will share only a few bits because most people will not like too much of data. My intention is, as I said, to compare and contrast the past with the present and try to draw a roadmap for the future. That is what is important. Okay, we compare past with the present and see where are we going. So here goes. In 1991, India was isolated from the world. It was a closed economy. We were equivalent of today's Pakistan or Sri Lanka. I said even worse than Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka has got $3 billion. We had 1 billion and actually 2,500 crores. Nobody knew we existed really economically, and frankly, nobody cared. So when we had an economic crisis, the IMF and the World Bank combined put in lots of conditions for aid. When they wanted us to get out of our problems, they put in a lot of conditions in terms of economics, basically liberalization. So we didn't liberalize then out of choice. We liberalized because we were forced to liberalize. So today, when we liberalize something, we are doing it out of our own choice. But in 1991, we did it because somebody wanted us to do it. Otherwise, we would have gone bankrupt. And the kind of lifestyle we lead today would not have been there. Probably we would be like sub-Saharan African country. Today, what they are doing to Sri Lanka and Pakistan, they did it to us in 1991. While the medicine was bitter, you see, it was worthwhile since we opened up the economy, cleaned up our taxation, gave birth to institutions like SEBI, NSE, welcomed private sector investments, both Indian and global, in all fields excepting a few select ones which the government of India still kept it. We had, apart from SEBI, and we gave birth to SEBI and NSE, We also brought in the private sector mutual funds in 1993. FIs were allowed in 1994. And over the next decade, we had DMAT, overhauling of the bourses. In fact, I used to go to the market, floor of the Madras Stock Exchange and actually do a physical auction, physically shouting. So those went away. 95, 94, NSE came in, so it was screen-based trading. And then, slowly and steadily, the institutionalize of intermediaries happened. So people like us didn't have a place because it all belonged to the Kotaks and the Zerodhas of the world. That's what has happened now. So, but all this took place over a decade, and India bounced back like never before. By 2002, we were a part of what is called BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. We were the new growth engines of the world. That was the power of economic reforms initiated in 1991. No other country in the world, I repeat, no other country in the world had come from the brink of disaster to take center stage in a decade, or about less than a decade. By 99, we had the Infosys of the world who were ruling the tech world. And by 2001, we were important enough to be included in the concept of BRICS. So all this happened because I suspect it is because of the DNA of this country. Okay, politicians may come and go, reformers may come and go, but finally we, the people, decide our fate. And that's what we decided, that, we will better ourselves every single year. Now, subsequently, what happened, because India was the focus, a lot of money came into India, prosperity grew. Today, what we are seeing, the malls and the TV stations and cell phones and all that came about during that decade, which we are enjoying today. So prosperity was within our reach between, say, 2002 to 2010, that decade, the first decade of this millennium. But then, you see, when you become too prosperous, you will lose fiscal discipline. In 91, we were in trouble. So we had lots of fiscal discipline. We brought ourselves up, and then we began to lose. We saw inflation going to low single digits, and we saw growth going to double digits. So that was the kind of environment which we had, say, between 2000 to 2010. So sometimes, as I say, we began to believe that apan hi Bhagwan hai. In 2011 and 2013, we went back to getting into trouble. We had inflation going up to double digits, which was there in 91, 92, and in fact 90s also. And growth went downhill. And 2013 was one of the worst years economically for us and politically too, because the UPA 2 was not doing anything good. Everybody hated the way they were taking no decisions. And to top it all, Ben Bernanke said, enough of quantitative easing, we will now do tapering, and then we will increase interest rates, and then we'll do quantitative tightening. Exactly the same formula, what we are seeing today, we saw it in 2013. Now, so the same thing happened, similar things happened. Markets fell, and markets fell about 14% in the 3 months between May end and August end. And we had a governor who didn't know what to do. So they panicked. We had a finance minister, we had an economic advisor. The governor was Subbarao, economic advisor was Raghuram Rajan, and finance minister was Chidambaram. So all of them spent sleepless nights, but they could not do anything on the rupee fall. So today, when we talk of rupee fall, if you really look at it from January to now, say from 74.5, it was in January 1st. Currently, it is about 79.6. Let's assume it's 80. So this is a drop of 7%. But if you listen to the bears, if you listen to the doomsday, they are saying gone. Market is gone, economy is gone, because we have come to 80, so we'll go to 85, and then they'll draw the Excel sheet and go take it to 110, right? So there is all-round panic. The government also has got up to it. You'll be surprised to know in 2013, in 3 months, between May end to August end, the rupee fell 28%. We have fallen 7% in 6 months. Rupee fell 28%. So you calculate from 74.5, 28% will be how much? Okay, that is 4 times. And we believe 7% is disaster. I don't know what 28%, if those bearish voices, if they had seen it during that time, probably they would have committed suicide and we would all join with them. So now is the third time they have come back again. So now let's examine the data further. You see, our forex reserves, which I said was $1 billion in 91, had moved up to $275 billion in 2013. And today, even the doomsdayers are saying there is no future for India, we are at $580 billion, so double, almost. Inflation was double digit then. Today, inflation numbers have come, which is less than 7% or around 7%. IIP measured then would have been in the low single digits. Today, we are talking of high double digits. RBI then took the same kind of measures as the RBI is doing it now. Governor Rajan did he relaxed the FCNRB window to encourage NRI investments. And within few months, they collected $30 billion. That was big at that point of time. 30 means about 10%, $275 billion was reserves. So they could collect about 10%, more than 10%. So that happened over the next 3 months, beginning September 4th, when he became the governor. So because of these proactive actions, which are very similar to what they're doing now, we suffered for some time. Maybe the day they took those actions, the market bottomed out and we started going up subsequently, though there were doomsdayers all around us. So therefore, we came out of the mess very quickly, and for the next 5 to 6 years, we have grown steadily. Today, we have done more. See, not only have we relaxed the FCNRB restrictions, we have done what shall I say? That internationally, we're allowed to change convert the rupees into, if you want to do business with something like Russia. I'll come to that a little later. See, what is important for us to understand is what is the RBI doing? See, now RBI governor is generally been disregarded for him being not flamboyant enough, like Raghuram Rajan, or he's not ahead of the curve. But every person has got some positives. Every person has got some positives. So what I see in this RBI governor, which I am very confident of, later in my talk I'll tell you, is that this RBI governor is like a very, very hard worker, but very low profile. He was called as the Sherpa. Now, what is a Sherpa? Sherpa is a person who is sent by the government as a personal representative of the head of the state, who prepares an international summit, especially in the G20 summit. So our Shaktikanta Das was a Sherpa during the last G20 summit before he became the governor. So the Sherpa is a person who operates behind closed doors. And he is the person who sets up. He's an operations guy. So this gentleman is a very good operations guy. Now, Sherpa in mountaineering terms is a person who carries the load. Beyond a point, when you're climbing mountains, you can't have the animals to carry the loads when you're for a climber. So the Sherpa carries it. The most famous Sherpa of them all is Tenzing Norgay, who, if he was not there, then Edmund Hillary would not have climbed and conquered Mount Everest in 1953. So that Sherpa word has come from there. People who are diligent, who are backroom boys, but who do their work. Because Tenzing Norgay did it, Edmund Hillary could climb Mount Everest. Now, this weekend, our Sherpa, our old Sherpa, is going out to meet the biggest FIS. The government of Singapore, who is one of the biggest FIS, if not the biggest, and a host of others in Hong Kong and other countries, laying out his plan of action. Now, most people in the media have not covered this. I think this is the most significant thing which one should keep an eye on. This weekend, he is there. He's meeting government of Singapore people. So he's meeting the real big boys. So considering that RBI has gone one step ahead of what Rajan did in 2003, my idiotic guess is that the recent announcements are not just an international trade settlement in Indian rupee, international trade settlement in Indian rupees, what they have said yesterday. And people are thinking, the most commentators are thinking that it's either they're mocking it or calling it a panic reaction, or they're saying it is to help out Russia, trade with Russia. But in my humble opinion, that is idiotic opinion, which I'm fairly confident of, in reality, they're laying the foundation or laying the framework for capital account convertibility to come into being. India in 1993 September became current account convertible. Capital account convertibility, for just simple example, is that any of us can go and buy and sell anything around the world in their currency. So today we can't do that. If you want to buy something on Nasdaq, we have a limitation, about 2.5 lakh $1,000 or some limitation is there. But when you have capital account convertibility, you can buy or sell anything. Now, capital account convertibility is much more a political decision rather than an economic decision. And knowing the present dispensation, I feel the political nod will come out, or rather, it has actually come, and probably the reality will happen maybe in the next few months. Today, most people are not looking at capital account convertibility. They're not even talking about it. In my opinion, they will begin to talk about it 3 months later. So, August 1993, we went current account convertibility. Now we're in July, probably August 2022. We may have some announcement, or at least maybe in the next 3-4 months. This capital account convertibility is not something new. It has been floated, this idea has been floated by a number of governors, including Rajan himself in 2015. Apart from developed countries, capital account convertibility is prevalent in Latin America. And even our friend Pakistan has got a large degree of convertibility. So they have partial, but still they have a lot of, what shall I say, concessions there. So just imagine the benefits of capital account convertibility if it comes. That will mean enough and more money will come into India. So rupee will no longer be, one of those currencies which are keeping on falling. Of course, people will do scaremongering saying capital account convertibility means money will go out. Today, if you really look at it, money is already going out. The Nirav Modis or the Vijay Mallyas have shown that whether you have convertibility or not, they're able to take their money out. So I don't personally think that capital account convertibility, if it comes, there will be outflow of money, there will be inflow of money, is what I believe. Because the outflow of money will happen independent of whether you have got convertibility or not, and it is happening and it has happened. So therefore, let me end here with this, that the reason I did this was to talk about capital account convertibility actually, and to talk about RBI's actions, which in my opinion are just not the run-of-the-mill options. There's a lot of work going on. I'm not privy to any insider information as much as what you and I read. And if we are only able to focus on what RBI governor is doing, why is he going to Singapore? Why is he going to Hong Kong? And the agenda has been mentioned in the news reports that he's talking to the FIS there. So this may take some time, but don't be surprised with the plethora of good news to come. What we saw on September 4, 2013 was the market had collapsed and there was no future. The bears were in plenty. Today, you can multiply that by 10 times. So all the sophisticated bears are constantly telling us that we are a dead case. We are going to 100 to a dollar, and capital account convertibility can never happen in this country. And even if it happens, then the money will go out. So we'll be impoverished and we don't have the strength. Today, we have strength of $580 billion with us. We also have good corporate results. We have a reasonably good monsoon. Inflation is coming down, and we are getting oil from Russia at reasonable prices. So nobody can bully us today. Maybe they could have bullied us in 1991. They could have partially bullied us in 2013. If somebody thinks they can bully India in 2022, I think they are smoking something which which is illegal. So let me end here with the same quote which Manmohan Singh said in 1991, which is again from Victor Hugo, who said, "No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. I think the idea of capital account convertibility is here. I assume it will come sooner than later. Thank you for listening to me. My time is up. May I request Vinay to take over? Please keep your questions brief. I would be happy if you can keep the questions on the topic. Please don't ask tips. And anything which you want to convey, please do it in the shortest possible time so that others also can speak. And we will try to close this by 2 hours, but if necessary, we'll take till the last question is on. Let's have the same amount of discipline which we have all the time. Thank you for listening to me. Vinay, take over, please. Yeah, 1 minute. I think Vinay has not yet come.
No. Sir, can you?
Yeah, okay, you're there.
Sir, can you make me the co-host, sir?
Yes.
Actually, I got logged off. I got logged off.
Yeah, I have sent you a request to be a co-host.
Yes.
Till that time, Shalab, you can ask your question.
Yeah, so hi. I had one simple question. I'm sorry I joined late if you already covered it. But our debt obligations or short term or long term debt, which are maturing in by October, amounts to like $257 billion, right? And that, I mean, there's an Economic Times article also on it. And along with the ever increasing current account deficit, it's I think more than $22 billion right now per year. How do you see this 590 plus? How will this sustain? Like, especially when this shock happens that by September we lose 257 billion. Don't you think we'll have just a exponential loss in the rupee dollar conversion rate? Thank you.
Yeah, good question, Shalab. Let me just come back to a specific question on debt. The short-term liability you're talking of is $621 billion. And incidentally, the center share is about $131 billion. This is what the government has clarified. So I trust the government. Economic Times is carrying something which is confirmed by the government as $621 billion. And center share, the government of India share is about $131 billion, which is 21%. Now, over the years, what is this proportion? Today, that amounts to about 43% of the short-term debt on a residual maturity. People are worried about that maturity, 43%. Let's go back to 2021. What was it then? 44%. 2020, 42.4%. 2019 was 43.4%. 2018 was 42%. 2017 is 41.6%. So these 5 years I have calculated the data because I expected a question like this. So again, fear mongering, scaremongering. If we survived 17 at 41.6, at 2021 at 44.1, and 2022 at 43.1, we will survive and we'll grow. This is something, people take it out of context. For instance, RBI recently wrote a paper of, that so much of money will go out by the end of the year. So there was a lot of discussion by so-called intellectuals who said, boss, something big is going to happen, we'll go to collapse by December. Now, RBI continuously writes papers. Now, somebody very well explained, when you go get into a plane, the air hostess will tell you what to do if you are going to crash. So they will show you that face mask and all that. So are we assuming that the face mask, we need to use the face masks every single time when you get into an aeroplane? Somebody made a nice, somebody gave a nice explanation. I would say if you read that RBI paper, the RBI paper talks of there is a 5% probability of that happening. Now, 5% probability is there even tomorrow morning when I go for my walk, somebody can come and hit me, right? So the probability is what we need to see. So that is for RBI. Your specific question, I've tried to answer it. So there is nothing to fear. Yeah, I can give you any numbers which can make you afraid without with taking it out completely out of the context. That has been taken out of the context. Sorry to say, Economic Times is a pink paper. It's a pink rag, in my opinion, if they do not know what exactly they're talking about. Many times they don't know.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody has gone into listener only. There seems to be nobody else who wants to ask a question, I think. Wait, let me put VKE. What happened to also? Okay. Let me ask, put CG. CG, can you hear me? Vipin, can you hear me? Vipin? Yeah, yeah, Vinay, can you hear me? Okay, for some reason I'm not able to. There are no speakers at all.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah, CG. Now that you can hear me, why don't you ask a question or something, or make a comment?
Sir, actually, there is some echo, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, CG.
Yeah, right, sir. So the conditions right now and the conditions, the times you referred are quite different, right, sir? So after this means, what do we infer? Means good time is coming, and this will be another decade of that will belong to India. That's what you want to say.
Yeah. I did mention that the times are only getting better. See, it is how you look at the data. If you have a bearish view, then you look at it and talk only bearish. I'm giving you data which is the complete data, I would say. So you can pick and choose and say, okay, we are going to die. But if you look at the entire data, there is no reason for us at this point of time to even worry. Now, about it being the next decade, let's take it week by week or month by month. Let us worry about it, about the decade later. But right now, the pessimism, I think, is not based on facts. See, you can be. I was pessimistic last year till May 12th. I was pessimistic on the Indian stock market. I had some facts. On that, I based it. Now, without facts, if you base something, then I don't know. I mean, I don't want to belong to that camp. I'm giving you facts wherever possible. So I believe strongly that we are probably going to be in a takeoff mode, which will last for a long time. I don't know how many years, but it will last for a long time.
So, sir, what could be the indicators by which we can understand that the expected good things have started happening?
They already started, CG. They already started. If you look at economics, for instance, if you look at pure economics, you can see that, the IIP number today has come. Inflation numbers have come. You take the corporate results. See, the problem with people is that if I jump 6 feet, they want me to jump 8 feet. If I jump 7, they're saying, no, it is not good enough. So if you look at corporate results, they're uniformly good. People said that this quarter results will not be good. Look at monsoons, it is good. And as I told you, commodity complex has collapsed. And most important, the government has got up. When the government gets up, they have so many levers to see, and one by one they are taking. So if yesterday RBI has announced something, that is, in my opinion, path breaking. But you cannot expect results tomorrow or next week. It will happen. So the smart money is already caught on. If you look at our own capital markets, Bank Nifty has bottomed out in March. Auto index has bottomed out in March. FMCG has bottomed out in March. Many stocks have bottomed out in March. Reliance, which is I would say, weather vane of India, has made a new high in April. It is there for us to see. Now, if we don't want to see it, and if you want to say only FII investment disinvestment has happened or something, I have got data to disprove that also. For instance, I'll just give you some, now that you asked me, I'll just give you some interesting data. See, people say in 2021, FII has sold 91,000, about 92,000 crores in the secondary market. And this 6 months, they've sold 2,83,000 crores. So if you look at that data, then you will say, boss, FIIs are running away from the market. Now, I can only say, go back to 2015 to 2018 for 4 years. For 4 years, FIIs sold negative, net negative, they were for 4 years. Forget that 2015 to 2018. Come only for this data. 2021, they said 91,000 crores. So it is bad. But if you look at SEBI data, it shows that they have bought 28,000 crores. Now, how is it, net I'm talking about, how is it that SEBI data shows 28,100 crores and FI data in NSE, BSE, which we are getting it every day, is showing about minus 91,000. There is a difference of 120,000 crores, right? Difference. There is positive there, negative here. The positivity comes because of the IPOs, which FIs would have any investment which passes through the depositories, that data is captured by SEBI. What is captured by NSE is only the secondary market data. So the secondary market data is when we get scared when the day the prices fall down, we go and look at 1,500 crores today. So FIs are selling heavily. But if you look at, this is market data. The economic data is coming from your SEBI, which is your data, which is your, where companies raise funds, which need not come through the normal market, which, and I told you QIP, for instance, IPOs, all that which pass through the DMAT, the depositories, gets reflected in the SEBI data. So last year, 2021 calendar year, 120,000 crores came into India. They invested in things like FPOs and IPOs and companies when they made private placements. Take 2022, if you see 2,83,000, it's a terrible figure. If you look at the SEBI data, it shows us minus 2 lakhs. That means some 80,000 crores money has come in to the system, which is not there not through the exchanges. It has come either through the IPOs or it has come through the FPOs or any other way which the corporates would have raised equity. So that is what you have to see. If you see the data holistically, then you will get an idea that the train has left the station for the bears long ago in many stocks, in many sectors. See, they may still have some fun, in some sectors, but that will be the last of the bearish sectors. Like it could be tech, for instance. Tech may still be struggling. So it could be some select stocks which may be struggling. But by and large, one by one sector is moving away from the bottoming out process. It has already started. You can see it on the graph. There's nothing new about it. March, you go and see Bank Nifty, FMCG, you see auto index. These are all gone, moved away from March lows. It's no longer there. June, we had a low in Nifty, but not so in Bank Nifty, not so in FMCG, not so in auto, and not so in many stocks. So it's very clear, at least very clear to me, that we are moved on from there. We don't have to worry now. It just things will get better from now on, not because I feel it so, but data tells me so.
Thank you, sir. Yes, the inflation figures, the CPI inflation figures, that what we see, and this is the first time probably in our lifetime that our inflation figures are less as compared to US. And if we compare these to Pakistan, their inflation is in like 20%. Sri Lanka, you cannot say, everybody knows more than 50%. So on that front, definitely, irrespective of the fact that the inflation is above the RBI's comfort range of 2 to 6%, but we are definitely doing much better as compared to several European and our nearby countries as well as US. So that's also a great thing which we should not. That shows how the RBI committee and the other government is performing. So.
Yeah, thank you, CG. See, whether RBI does or not, supply and demand will take care. You see, RBI need not do anything great. Supply and demand. If petrol is sitting at, if oil is sitting at 125, somebody tells me go to $600. They have not understood the basics of supply and demand. Demand collapses beyond a point. That's what is resistance and support now. So, so that itself will tell you that many of these projections made by these bearish analysts, who are in plenty incidentally, bullish analysts are very few and very difficult to get them also. In this space, at least I got 3 people. My co-hosts are both bullish on the economy as well as the market. But that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Can I ask, Shalabh, can you ask a question?
Yeah, I have actually 2 more questions if I can ask.
Yes, Shalabh, go ahead quickly.
So, yeah, very quickly. The first one has got to do again with currency conversion rates. So, like, if rupee keeps sliding, I mean, let's keep if it's exponential or not. But does it then make stocks to sense to invest too much in Indian stocks? I mean, if we invest overseas, then simply by conversion rate over a period of time, we'll earn more. No, and the second question is that do you think that like with the way we have our balance of payments, I mean, think about it. Like RBI will have to increase interest rates, right? If they need to curb down inflation. If they increase interest rates, the banks will increase interest rates. If banks increase interest rate, then people who have already taken home loans will find it difficult to pay back at least um, a large chunk of it, and fresh people will hesitate to take more loans. And if the construction sector cannot go up, then there'll be a lot of problem in the overall economy. What do you think about it?
No, no, certainly. If whatever is saying happens, certainly there will be a problem. So you started with if, right? Now I'm going to give you a thought experiment. Why talk about if when you see what is happening now? As the oil price has gone up above 138, people were talking of when it went to 125, they said it will cross 150. Has it happened? Has commodities gone up? Important commodities like wheat, sugar, and all have fallen 30, 40, 50%. We say a bear market is there when it falls down 20%. All of the commodities have fallen 20% plus. All, barring none. So if commodity complex is in bear market, how is it that inflation is going to go up? I don't know. My knowledge is limited. I don't have a PhD in economics, but basic economics tells me that if the commodity complex in a deep bear market, then how will that inflation go up? It will show in our prices sooner or later. Your oil, for instance, the edible oil, is what, down by 40%, something like that, and it is falling. There is no demand for that in the commodity markets. So I studied the commodity markets on a regular basis, and I see that there is nothing really alarming. In fact, there is alarming for the bulls in commodity, and alarming for the bears in every other place, whether you talk of economy or something. So you must, as I keep telling you, if you have experienced 2013, this is a picnic. I'm telling you, believe me, it's a picnic. I've experienced 1991. I've experienced everything right from where we started. I'm telling you with greatest amount of confidence that this is just a picnic. It just doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't mean I'm complacent. It doesn't mean I'm more confident. It is just that I'm looking at data and I'm saying, has this happened before? Yes, it has happened before. What was the severity vis-a-vis 1991 or 2013 or any other intervening period? This is the least severe. Least, I'm telling you. So I have to base my judgment on my experience as well as data. Both of these tell me that I don't think we need to worry at all. I think we're asking too many questions of things which are most hypothetical. If it happens, we'll have to take evasive action. If it happens, maybe we'll all, if there is a new, what shall I say, variable which comes, like say there's a war between India and China, or India and Pakistan, or if there is a nuclear war between Russia and US. So things will change. We speak as of today and what we can see in the future, visibly, what I can see. Based on that, I feel Achhe Din are coming. Whether the politicians have failed us or not, in markets, Achhe Din are coming. And at that, I'm very confident because the data tells me and my experience also tells me.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Okay, Balkishan. I think today we're having a problem. My co-host is not able to connect. Anyway, I'll take over. Balkishan, can you hear me, Balkishan? Okay. Manish?
Namaskar.
Manish,
Namaskar.
Yeah, Manish, namaskar.
Sir, my question is why so much drama for dollar index? Dollar index is right now at 108, but I was doing a study. Dollar index is a component of that 5 European countries, including Euro, then GBP, then French, and all these countries only. Why? Because of dollar index, people are saying, or every analysts are saying that emerging market will go down, commodity prices are going down, including precious metal, gold and silver, because dollar index is up. Dollar index is up. That is the only meaning these all 5-6 countries, those all are having a component in the dollar index, are not performing against the dollar, which is very true. But where there is a correlation for the emerging market, it is same kind of bank nifty where SDFC having a weightage of 40% or 35% and ICICI having a 28%. The same kind of percentage are included in dollar index. Then what is the correlation? Or it is such a drama only to create a panic, or there is any correlation for emerging market with the dollar index? Second question is, RBI governor has categorically told in the last commentary that what we are hiking the interest rate at the price of 105 per dollar barrel crude. Now crude is trading at $94, and I'm assuming as per the price action chart, it will come down slowly to $70 to $65, and it will settle over there. So, is there any chance to what you call rate cut or pause for the rate hike, or still they will continue increase the rate as per their earlier commentaries? These are only two questions I have, sir.
Yeah, Manish, thank you very much. See, beyond a point, this dollar index makes no sense to me. Anyway, people talk about, it'll affect the emerging markets. I really don't know how. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, really speaking. I only know one thing. I agree with you that, and it's a known fact that the dollar index consists of 5 currencies. And out of that, 2 currencies, actually 3 currencies, they have deliberately become weak. That is euro and the Great Britain pound and your yen. So what can we do about it? If our economy is strong, why should we bother about it? Really speaking, we should not bother, because look at Russia, for instance. Russia is doing very well by itself. China is doing very well. The stock market is doing very well. Latin American countries, some of the Argentina, I think, is doing very well. So I think these what correlations which we had in the past, they have to be re-examined. When I re-examine that correlation, as you rightly point out, I don't think we should worry too much about this drama which is doing. See, people want to do drama. Mostly bearish news sells. Bullish news never sells. Okay, bullish news sells when we are in a bubble, like what we were in between July and September, October of last year. Bullish news will sell. So by and large, bullish news will not sell. If you are bearish, then you speak in good English and you come on TV wearing a coat suit, then and talk bearish, saying this country is going to dogs. Then everybody will clap and say, yes, I agree with you. Country is going to dogs. But reality is not like that. No, this country has survived. So where is the question of trying to be bearish when it is? See, you must become bearish or cautious when it is bearish, when it is needed. Right now, it is not needed at all. I can't see why people are bearish. I'm not able to understand it at all. See, the same guys who are bearish today were bullish till April end, because every time it used to hit 18,000, it hit 18,000 5 times between October and April. They thought bull market has started. That was not a bull market. That was a bear market, bear rally. Now you are saying bear market started in May when the index has fallen below 16,000. 15,7, 15,8, you are going to say it will go to 12,000, it will go to 6,000, it will go to 5,000. On what basis? I can understand if you had told me at 17,000 or 16,000 last year and told us that be careful. None of them were careful. I have got recordings of everybody. In fact, I retweet all that, and I have stored all their what people have talked, all the so-called experts. Because I'm not an expert, I'm an experienced guy. And experience tells me, data tells me, that this is the golden time to be looking at risk. When you want to take risk, when everybody around you is doing drama. Not when everybody around you is saying, Zomato, you should buy at 170 so that you go to 350. Not then. I will not buy Zomato even at 10 rupees because it is not a profit making company. But I'm just saying, you must understand when you should take risk. You should take risk when things are improving and more people than ever before are bearish. Today, the situation is there. Fundamentals are improving slowly, and most people are bearish. Believe me when I say this, I keep repeating, in my last 30 years, very rarely have I seen fundamentals improving and the price is down. This is probably the first time. Fundamentals improving and the price is down. And why prices are down? Because everybody is selling and going. Because they've been told to sell. You sell at 15,800 or 16,000, you will see 7,500. 7,500 is so far away, so why don't we short sell up to 7,500? But they're not seeing the data which can tell you it may go up much more than 16,200 or 16,300, what we saw recently. The data is telling us, I don't want to give you a target on top, but I want to know why are you thinking it will go down? Why are you bothered about dollar index or something like that beyond a point?
So this is kind of heroism some big cartel are creating, or because if you go for the, let's put a hypothetical example for a public sector banks from last 1 year, if we are seeing continuously they are increasing their profits margin and reducing their slippage ratio and everything, but prices are not up more than 20-30%, and I'm really shocked. The company like Steel Authority of India, the last 1 year, if we talk about the annual data, did turnover of 1 lakh crore, which was never happened in the history, and prices are still at the 10-year consolidation prices only. So why people are not giving too much what you call importance to the such kind of company, or some big cartel don't want to enter to the retail public, or they are just accumulating at lower price and just trying to give the frustration to the ordinary people like a retail client, and then they will take entire money, or something fishy which normal people are not able to see. I'm not understanding, because I myself sometimes frustrated what happened, why these quality stocks are not performing. Like very likely you said, fundamentals are improving, but prices are not improving. First time I'm also seeing. So I don't know. I'm also confused. That's what I'm asking to you, sir.
Okay, Manish Bhai, if you mute it, I'll answer. If you mute yourself, please mute yourself because there's a lot of disturbance. Yeah. So Manish Bhai, why are you bothered? Don't you think it is fantastic? If people are throwing away gold at the price of, let's say, copper, not even copper, I'm taking a tin or some other worthless. If they're thinking gold is worthless, should you not be grabbing gold? Because sooner or later they will come to their senses. So why should you be bothered? Believe me, I say I am making disclosure here. I have bought heavily into public sector banks in the last 3 days or last 1 week, heavily. Okay, because I love these guys. If people sell to me at low rates, why I'll not buy? If you are having a bank, a bank which is doing well, which is available at 0.3 book, 0.4 book price to book. If you don't buy it at that time, you want to buy it at four times price to book. So whatever little I know in the last 33 years has told me people occasionally become mad. They throw stocks at lower prices. They also become occasionally mad and buy stocks at higher prices. If you can justify Zomato, for a very long time, Zomato was 130 rupees, and say that a loss-making company, I will buy at any rate, it went up to 170. So the people who bought at 130 and didn't sell, and they saw 170, would have said, see, what a great guy I am. I bought a loss-making company which says it will never make profit in its life at 130, and it went to 170. Let us say you are a short seller or you were bearish on that. Then you would have wondered, why is this Zomato not coming below 120 or 130? Now what has happened? So it will take time. Everything takes time. So if you have had Zomato stocks, you would have sold it at 130. So what if it goes to 170? Similarly, if you believe stocks are good price now, which I strongly believe based on whatever information I have till today. See, tomorrow something new comes, I don't know. But what I can see based on today's scenario, I love these guys because I am now telling my friends and clients, just you borrow and buy good stocks. I'm not saying index, I'm talking good stocks. There are a number of good stocks available. These are opportunities which come rarely. They come, always they'll come. But I'm saying in the cycles they'll come. Rarely means I'm saying in the last 2 years they will not have come. So when they come, you should grab. And don't worry about it. You wait for 6 months. See, I have been in the market for 33 years. For the first 12 years, the index, which was at 4,500 in 1992, was still 4,500 in 2004. 12 years. Today, index doesn't go up for 12 days, people start panicking. 12 weeks means they'll think this market is useless. 12 months means they'll say, let's quit the market and go into business. I stayed in this market 12 years. 1991 I came, 92 April was 4,500. 2004, May 17th, it was still 44,500 Nifty. Sorry, Sensex. Of course, it went above 4,500 in 1999 for a few months. So for 12 years, India grew. India did everything good, but it didn't. But let's say if you held on, then what would have happened to you now? From 4,500, you got 60,000, right? So patience pays in this market. See, the market is like that. It will fool people, maximum number of people for maximum amount of time. So you should be very happy if tomorrow if it comes down 5%, if it's a good stock, I'm not talking all stock, good stock, why should you bother? Anyway, why are we bothering about buying it at the lowest? We are not good at buying at the lowest. Only the technical analysts who come on TV or who write on Twitter and all that, they are good at buying at the lowest price. So yesterday, for instance, I had made a mention day first day that I will buy TCS. Results are good. I will buy it at a particular rate. So when yesterday people said no, it is. I mean TCS is not worthwhile to buy at any rate. So I told them I'm looking for a 8 weeks time frame. I will buy it at yesterday's close. So yesterday's close, I bought it at 3,107, for instance. So people said, why are you buying at 3,107? It will go to 2,900. I said, how you are sure it will go to 2,900? I said it may go to 3,400 by August end. May. They are saying will. So the difference is there. So the bears are saying it will go. I said it may go up. They are saying it will go down. So now today it has come to 3,085, below 20 rupees below my price. So, but today is not the day I'm going to sell. I'm going to wait till August 28th. No, I put a date. So you keep it like that, then you will not panic. You will not worry. So so one should buy good stocks at prices. You cannot buy at the lowest. What if it goes to 29? Let it go. Will it go to 3,400 by August end? I'm hoping it will go. If it doesn't go, at least I'll wait till August end. No. So if you have that part of frame, you will make money. These guys will not make money. Believe me, I've seen 33 years, 30,000 traders. They have not made money. They're all, 95% of people don't make money is what Zerodha says, right? So very few people make money in the market by having these all kinds of funny predictions. Especially the bearish predictions. Bearish guys never win, incidentally. Take it from me.
Vijay sir, I'll
Thank you, sir.
request that
Thank
you
you very
take.
much for explaining everything.
Yeah, thank you, Manish. Yeah, CG.
Yeah, Vijay sir, I'll request Manish Bhai has had referred to Steel Authority, so I'll ask you to comment on that also.
I say, CG, I don't know. CG, SAIL is a damn good company. I visited all their plants. I'm a great fan of it. But I don't have it in my portfolio at this point in time because I don't have the money. I think SAIL will do well because it's a very well run company. But I can't advise somebody to go and buy. I don't have it in my portfolio. I think it's a very, very good company. So it's a question of if you like it, you must buy it and forget about it. And I think by and large, it will reward you because see, steel, banking, autos, these are the backbone of this economy. So how can you expect a well-run company to be at these numbers for a long time? From 150, I think it has come down to 70, right? So it's how long will it remain at 70? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So I have not bought it, but it's a good question to ask. How long can it remain at 175 rupees when I see in 150 rupees? And what if it goes to 60 rupees? How long will it remain at 60 rupees? Then when you do that kind of calculation, you yourself will get to an idea that, boss, I don't mind if it goes to 60 rupees because it is worthwhile. If somebody felt it was worthwhile at 120 rupees, forget 150. Then why not buy it at 60 rupees? You will think like that. I think that is the way only you can make investments and make money on it. Otherwise, if you begin to believe that why people are not buying, let them not buy. They are the losers. You are the winner, right? Winner should buy and hold patiently.
Sorry to
Good evening.
interrupt, sir. Disclaimer was SAIL was just an example. There are plenty of company which Stanik sir clearly said we just wait and watch and grab the opportunity. So SAIL was not at all any recommendation. Thank you.
Yeah, I understand. I understand, Manishi. I understand. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Manishji. Dharmeshji.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening,
Vinay, you're back.
Sainikji.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, I have two questions. One question, stock specific regarding the bank. What you feel about the IDBI bank at rupees 32? Number 1 point. It is a PSU bank. And second point, what in my mind is every time is coming that FII is continuously selling the stock. Now, where he will get the opportunity because Sri Lanka in problem, Pakistan in problem, all developing economy in problem, China is also in problem. So they will put money back to India. What you feel, sir?
Dharmesh Bhai, first of all, let me answer the FII number. See, I don't care, Dharmesh Bhai. I'll tell you. Why I don't care? Because I have seen it that they have sold for 4 years, 2015, 16, 17, 18. They are net sellers. Go and kindly check it up. It is there. Okay. So did I worry? Because between 2015 and 2018, the Nifty actually went up in 2016 and 18, for instance. Nifty was at 6,700 or 6,800, below 7,000. It went up to about 11,000. So why I should bother whether FI is buying, selling, who is buying, selling? Do I like the stock? Do I think that will go up? You buy it. So I think, even discussing or, this thing, I'm not able to understand why we should spend. I look at the numbers very, very closely. I look at all the numbers very, very closely. But then I keep that in my mind. Okay, these guys are selling. Maybe they've got some reasons for selling. There may be redemptions. There may be ETFs, this one exchange traded funds specific to Asia or India. So they may be selling. Some other people may be redeeming it itself. Some pension funds may be redeeming, which or some direct investments into India may be redeeming. There could be the number of FIs. So each of them may have their own reasons for doing it. That is why our friend, the Sherpa, is going to find out among the large FIs what they're up to. I'm sure they will come up with some reasons why they have done what they have done. And I'm sure these guys, the Sherpa also will come up with some solutions for them. So having seen FIs came in 1994, January, having seen FIs since 94, personally interacted with a lot of them, I know for a fact that everybody has got their own strategy. So their strategy may be that, I will come back to India. So like, we sell some stock and thinking, okay, I'll buy it at lower price. After 1 year, you'll see that price has doubled. So then if you have the money, you're forced to buy it at higher price. So be it. So I don't think we should worry about FIS person, though we must look at those numbers, which I do regularly. All invest. Incidentally, let me tell you on something funny. I think yesterday or some time, 2 days ago, both the DIs and FIs were sellers. The market went up 70, 80 points. Why? How? I have a strong belief the market is not controlled by FIs and DIs, which has been proven by facts. It is controlled by what I call the third force. Who are the third force? Third force are the Junjunwalas, ultra high net worth individuals, the corporate treasuries like Reliance, Bajaj Auto, the Hero Motors. They've got huge corporate treasuries. Then you've got PMS. Then you've got alternate investment funds. Then you've got people like you and me, small retailers. So all of us are in the third force. Our third force is many a times far superior to the FIS and DIS. This I've noticed from long. So I believe strongly that third force will do what it has to do. At crucial times, they come in the third force, and they're much bigger. At least they are much bigger. Means they decide the prices. They decide the direction. So that is it. The first question I've completely forgot, sir. What was it?
Sir, regarding IDBI Bank.
Oh, sorry, IDBI Bank. I have banked with them. I have not had a very good experience with them, so I don't know. I don't know. It's a very tough bank to deal with. People are good, but I think their policies and all. I don't know. Somehow I am not. If I want to buy, I will. I have bought, for instance, Canara Bank. I have bought Bank of Baroda. I bought even Karur Vysya Bank. But I don't know. IDBI is not in my scheme of things. There are so many banks. Bank of Maharashtra is a good bank, but people are good. I've dealt with them, but I don't know. I'm not so happy with it. So I will pass. I really don't have much on that. But I bought these banks. PNB also I bought, for instance. I think PNB is a sitting duck. For me, at least when I look at it, I feel, why is it available so cheap?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fine, thank you धर्मेश जी. Next Mr. Karun Upreti.
सर मेरा एक सिंपल सा सवाल है. तो सैनिक सर से मेरा एक सिंपल सा सवाल है. आई बॉट कैनरा बैंक और जनरल स्टील वट एवर विल द मल्टीपल स्टॉक दैट वी टॉक ऑन. ठीक है, 2 स्टॉक का मैं बात करता हूँ. ठीक है, दो दे आर गिविंग ग्रेटर प्रॉफिट्स ऑन द नोट. ठीक है, सेम रेट 84 89 समथिंग सो प्राइस सो कॉल्ड. ठीक है, मेरा एक सिंपल सा सवाल है. पीपल बाइंग स्टॉक्स, ओके, तो सिंपल सा चीज़ ये होता है कि कोई IDBI बैंक खरीदा होगा, मे बी प्राइस सो कॉल्ड 35 30 20 वट एवर विद द रेट सो कॉल्ड ऑन. ओके, if I bought Canara Bank and General Steel at Canara Bank at 84 on COVID lows, ठीक है, and General Steel at 89 rupees 90 rupees so called, ठीक है, पीपल सो वरीड पीपल ना, ठीक है, उसमें मान लीजिए मेंटर कोई गाइड नहीं कर रहा है, वो बोलेगा कि क्या कहते हैं अपना आईडीबीआई बैंक खरीद लो, यहाँ पे सो कॉल्ड 35 रुपीज प्राइस है, ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल की बात कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है ना। पीपल जो होते हैं अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट खुद कर रहे हैं, फंस जाते हैं, उसके बाद मेंटर से सवाल पूछते हैं, इज इट राइट और रॉन्ग। एक मैं एक सवाल पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, पीपल अपना मनी का इन्वेस्टमेंट किए हैं और उसके बाद सवाल पूछते हैं कि यार मेंटर आर वी राइट और रॉन्ग, इन्वेस्टमेंट खुद किए हैं। भाई ये जनरल सा एक सैनिक सर, मेरा एक सिंपल सा मतलब एक सिंपल सा सवाल, सिंपलिस्टिक सवाल है।
हाँ बोलिए सर। हाँ सो सर आप जो पूछ रहे हैं, से मेंटर को पूछते हैं तो क्या, अगर आप मेंटर है तो
नहीं नहीं
वो पूछ सकते हैं। हाँ
इन्वेस्टमेंट खुद कर लेते हैं, आपने आस्क मेंटर।
नहीं, रहने दो सर, रहने दो। ये जो मेंटर है बाप के जैसे रहता है या टीचर के जैसे रहता है। वो अगर वो स्टूडेंट मिस्चीवस है तो उसको बोलेंगे कि आप अच्छा नहीं किए हैं, ऐसे करो ऐसा करो। तो मेंटर बोले तो क्या, मेंटर इज टू टेक केयर ऑफ द मेंटी और द टीचर शुड टेक केयर ऑफ द स्टूडेंट, पेरेंट शुड टेक केयर ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन, ऐसा होता है। सो इफ दे डू सम मिस्chief और इफ दे डोंट, इफ दे आर immature, then we should as a mentor, as a we should bring them to the right path as what we know. So तो होता ही रहता है ऐसा। See, we can't find fault with the person who's made his mistakes. We should see whether we can correct the mistake. That's what I do as a mentor. People come to me and say, boss, I already made a mistake, so I have to see how we can correct the mistake. I don't feel bad at all because that's why I'm a mentor. Otherwise, I'm not a mentor. A good mentor should take care of him.
अभी मैं एक चीज अपना अपना एक ट्रेड अपना शेयर कर देता हूँ विद द पीपल। सो कल मैं ये रिकमेंडेशन और वो कोई इतना सिंपलिस्टिक नहीं है सैनिक साहब, मैं बहुत छोटा आदमी हूँ आपके सामने। मैं टाटा स्टील को ना अगस्त सीरीज पे सिस्टम पे देख रहा हूँ कि मेटल सेक्टर पे जो चीज़ चल रही है ना, अभी एक बिल्ड ऑन चल रहा है, ठीक है। थोड़ा बहुत 7 इयर्स मेरे को हुआ है, आप मेरे से ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस्ड आदमी हैं। मेटल सेक्टर पे है, मैं 1000 का कॉल उठाया हूँ, शायद 1750 से उठाया हूँ। रनिंग ऑन प्राइस अभी चल रहा होगा 22 23 चल रहा है। लेकिन आई एम फाइंडिंग दैट स्कोप ना इन द टाटा स्टील दैट आई हैव टेकन अप, शायद आई हैव रिकमेंडेड पीपल ऑल्सो ऑन द फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। मैं कभी किसी से चार्जेस नहीं करता, कुछ नहीं करता। अपने फंड्स को मैनेज करना इज द बिगेस्ट एस्पेक्ट दैट आई हैव लर्न बीइंग एज अ सिस्टम पे, ठीक है। मैं टाटा स्टील को 1000 का कॉल पे सिस्टम पे चला हूँ। इज इट राइट? और ऑन द मेटल एस्पेक्ट में मेरे को कुछ सिस्टम पे जो सो कॉल्ड जनरल पीपल को भी आप एक लाइट ऑन थ्रो कर सकते हैं सर प्लीज, दैट विल बी हाईली।
करुण सर, या करुण सर, इसमें ये मार्केट में कोई छोटा या बड़ा नहीं होता है, सब लोग स्टूडेंट ही होते हैं। आई एम नॉट टेलिंग दिस, लाइक आई एम टेलिंग बेस्ड ऑन माय एक्सपीरियंस। मैंने बहुत सारे लोग देखे, मैं हर्षद मेहता भी देखा हूँ, ओके, मैं मिला हूँ उसको। हाँ सो अभी क्या होता है, हर्षद मेहता इतना बड़ा आदमी था, वो क्या हो गया उसका। सो केतन परेख इतना बड़ा आदमी था, क्या हो गया। सो ऐसा नहीं कि कोई छोटा है बड़ा है, सब लोग उसके माफी दे विल सी द मार्केट प्राइसिंग एंड देन देयर स्ट्रेटजी। तो आई एम मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूँ, ये जो मैंने बताया सेल के बारे में, कि ये जो बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कंपनीज जो, if you want to build infrastructure of the country, you need cement, steel. If they're available at good prices, certainly one should be invested. People who invested have made a lot of money. अभी क्या है, pricing का ही problem है. Whether this price at $1,000 is good enough or not is a question mark. Now क्या होता है specific to start Tata Steel? I'm not recommending. I'm just giving. Tata Steel is coming with a stock split. Now, the moment it comes with a stock split, there may be more attraction because that will become 95 rupees. 950, 10, if they split it at 10, it becomes 95 rupees. So, that time it may become more attractive. So, ऐसा हो सकता है कि एक स्टॉक में people may begin to buy. But pricing is most important, sir. Just buying it at any price, like बाप बोलते हैं ना, buy at any price, BAAP. वो ऐसा नहीं चलता है मेरे ख्याल से। मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा है कि जो भी है उसको एक वैल्यू रहता है, तो यू शुड बाई क्लोज बाय टू दैट वैल्यू। इतना ही मैं कह सकता हूँ। टाटा स्टील specifically is this is there could be a possibility of it being attractive because of the split which will happen. So let's take the next this one. Vinay.
Yes, sir, please.
हेलो
Mr. Darshit.
हेलो यस नमस्ते सैनिक सर विजय सर
Namaste.
हाँ
sir.
गुड इवनिंग सर हाँ सर मैंने 4-5 दिन पहले आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था पर वो कुछ अधूरा रह गया था और पिछले 4-5 दिन से सर मैं कंटिन्यूसली स्पेक्स ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ जो ट्विटर स्पेसेस हैं तो कुछ लोग बियर्स हैं कुछ लोग बुल रन की लिए बात करते हैं जैसे आप बुल मतलब बुलनेस की तरफ हैं आप सर मेरा सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है मैं एक गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय हूँ और मैं ज्यादा टाइम नहीं दे सकता मार्केट को कि मैं स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक रीड कर रहा हूँ ना बिजनेस के बारे में पढ़ रहा हूँ लेकिन मेरा 2 साल से मैं मार्केट में हूँ मेरी कुछ एसआईपी चल रही है पिछले 2 साल से कुछ मेरे अच्छे स्टॉक्स में मेरे इन्वेस्टमेंट भी हैं और बाय द गॉड ग्रेस मैं आज ग्रीन में ही हूँ अभी मैं पिछले 2 साल से हूँ तो सर मेरा अभी ये सवाल है कि सर मैं बिजनेस के बारे में पढ़ने का मेरा मन करने लगा है थोड़ा थोड़ा बट मैं इसको ज्यादा टाइम नहीं दे सकता तो सर अभी मैं किस तरह से मेरे इन्वेस्टमेंट रखूं मतलब मेरी 4-5 एसआईपीज है ना तो वो 4-5 एसआईपीज को चलने दूं ये जो मेरे स्टॉक्स हैं उनमें मैं वो एसआईपीज के अभी सर क्या है अमाउंट मेरे कम है मतलब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैं 100 रुपए अगर मंथ में सेव कर रहा हूँ तो 25 रुपए एसआईपी में जा रहे हैं 25 रुपए स्टॉक जो है मेरे 15-20 उसमें मैं इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ और 50 रुपए मेरे बैंक अकाउंट में पड़े हैं जो इकट्ठे हो के 1000 रुपए बन गए हैं मतलब मैं एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट नहीं बता रहा सर आपको मैं एज एग्जाम्पल बता रहा हूँ तो मैं अब वो 1000 रुपए भी इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ प्लस जो मेरा हर मंथ 100 रुपीज जा रहा है वो भी मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहता हूँ और मेरी जो एसआईपीज है वो सब अच्छे फंड्स में है मतलब जो क्रिजेल और ईटी मनी वगैरह पे मैंने रेटिंग देख के वो फंड लिए हैं और वो उनकी रेटिंग मतलब वो टॉप ही चल रहे हैं पिछले 2 साल से एक इंडेक्स फंड है एक लार्ज कैप फंड है एक स्मॉल कैप फंड है एक फ्लेक्सी कैप फंड है 4 फंड है सर तो मैं इस पे थोड़ा जानना चाहता हूँ सर
सर दर्शित भाई आप जो कर रहे हैं यू आर डूइंग वेरी इंटेलिजेंट वे ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग आपको अभी क्या व्हेनेवर यू हैव मनी यू पुट इन दोस व्हिच आर सक्सेसफुल इतना ही करना है सर तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं इवन आई टुक लॉन्ग टाइम टू अंडरस्टैंड द मार्केट आप तो मेरे से बहुत बहुत आगे हैं सर मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ कि आपको ये सब कुछ ज्ञान अभी हो गया यू डोंट हैव टू आस्क मी और एनीबॉडी फॉर दैट मैटर जो भी पैसे है आपका if you are confident those and if you have selected those SIP उसमें जो आपको पैसे बन रहा है तो you put on the successful things don't go and chase ये वगैरह वगैरह you already have five itself is very big very large so you please increase only in that 5 you keep on putting money only in those 5 where you are successful अभी सक्सेस पे ही सक्सेस होता है सर तो आप अगर ये किसी ने बोला आप वो ढूंढेंगे ये ढूंढेंगे तो आप समय बर्बाद कर रहे हैं आप सिर्फ जो भी आपका है आप करके रहे हैं सर आपका जॉब आप करके यू प्लीज डू बिकॉज इन माय ओपिनियन माय एक्सपीरियंस इन इन्वेस्टमेंट मैनेजमेंट यू डोंट रिक्वायर मोर देन हाफ एन आवर पर वीक इफ यू आर एन इन्वेस्टर मोर देन हाफ एन आवर पर वीक दैट्स ऑल 2 hours पर मंथ इतना ही क्यों हाफ एन आवर बिकॉज यू वांट टू रिव्यू योर इन्वेस्टमेंट एवरी वीक फॉर दैट हाफ एन आवर यू रिक्वायर If more than that,
ये इतनी जब भी जैसे कुछ टाइम से सर मैं इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स भी पढ़ रहा हूँ है ना और वेल्थ भी पढ़ रहा हूँ और जैसे कुछ यूट्यूबर्स हैं अच्छे यूट्यूबर्स जो हैं जैसे SOIC फाइनेंस है हाँ, सब लोग जानते होंगे
सर करेक्ट सर बट आप जो कर रहे हैं वही डोंट गो टू मच आउटसाइड मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ जो आप कर रहे हैं सही कर रहे हैं तो इसके अलावा आप क्यों बाहर जा रहे हैं इतना ही जो YouTube देख रहे हैं अच्छे आपको इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है यू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ओनली ऑन दैट डोंट स्पेंड मोर टाइम सर आप आपका काम देके इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए आई एम टेलिंग यू हाफ एन आवर पर वीक दैट इज ऑल यू रिक्वायर इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स यू कैन रीड बिकॉज ऑफ यू लाइक टू रीड दैट इज सेपरेट बट फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट पर्पसेस half an hour per week is more than enough. That is my experience, sir. And I teach, when I teach in colleges, I tell them you require only half an hour. You don't require more than that.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mr. Ashwin, please.
थैंक यू सैनिक जी फॉर गिविंग मी द स्पीकर. सैनिक जी आप एक इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे थे कि FIIs have been selling from 2014 to 17. I think they bought about 1,75,000 crores worth of equity. That is SEBI record. आप चेक कर सकते हैं. अच्छा 2018 में they sold. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. I'll quickly answer your query. I explained.
Yeah,
exactly.
one second. From 2019, they bought about 2,60,000 crore. I am talking about all SEBI record. Now they have been selling on a regular basis, and the rates of interest are rising in US, and probably they'll rise in even Europe, and every developed nation is now increasing their rate of interest. Now they have a lot of investment, and you were telling that FIIs don't run market, but they invested 2,60,000 crores in 19, 20, and 21. So basically, I think market went up because of this. Now they are selling on a regular basis, and the cost of fund is going high, and there may be a lot of investors who may be wanting to take back their money because the inflation is high in US and other countries. So what do you say about this?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't say 2014 to 2017. I told 2015 to 2018. There's a difference. Point number one. Point number two, I told you about the secondary market sales. Secondary market sales. I didn't tell you about SEBI data. I have mentioned what SEBI data means. What you see from NSE is the secondary market data which NSE gives, which is there in money control. That is the one set of data of FII and DII. That is your net purchase, net sales across terminals in NSE/BSE. SEBI data gives you not only that, it also gives you IPO data, FPO data, and your QIP data. That is not coming into the secondary market. If somebody invests in Zomato and he keeps it, it will show in SEBI data as if he has bought Zomato. Only if he sells it in NSE or BSE, then it will show as if that FII has sold. So SEBI data will be bigger than the NSE data, the exchange data, I would say, because it has got QIPs, IPOs, FPOs. Anything which flows through the DMAT, the depositories, is captured by SEBI. So SEBI, you cannot compare apples with oranges. That is separate data. This is separate data. You want to know about secondary market, what FIs are doing? You have to look at exchange data. You can't get that data from the SEBI. SEBI will have, it will be a part of the data which SEBI will. Now, you are talking about, FIIs don't matter is what I say. Everybody matters. You matter, I matter, the Jhunjhunwala matters, operators matter, corporate treasuries matter, DIS matter, PMS matters, AIF matters, and FIS matter. I am saying do not give any great importance to one set of investors. That's all I'm saying. So FIS matter. Everybody matters. But at the end of the day, my experience is that we are giving more importance to only one set of people. Why? What is it that they are somebody, whether it is FII or DII or Jhunjhunwala or me or you or so? Why are we any different? We are not moving the market. All of us are moving the market together. It is not a single force is not moving. I gave an example of third force. I gave an example of day before yesterday. Kindly go and check. How did the market go up if these fellows have, what shall I say, if they have sold or they have not bought enough? They bought 100 crores and sold 100 crores. Why did the market go up so much? So there are dynamics in the market which are just not explainable by simply saying FI has sold so much, DI has sold so much, or DI has bought so much. Coming to your thinking about interest rates going to increase in US and Europe and India, I believe that the market normally discounts these kind of things. So markets have discounted that US will increase interest rates for about 8 to 9 times in the next 1 year. That is discounted, in my opinion. Now, you may say it is not discounted. Now, what has not been discounted, in my opinion, is what if the Fed decides that they will not increase interest rate 9 times? They'll increase it by 5 times. Why? Because the inflation, if it has come down significantly, they may stop at 5 times. There is no rule that what they have told today, they will have to do it tomorrow. They are now talking of 9 times. So, therefore, everybody is assuming it is going to go 9 times, so the market will go down by 2,000 points, 3,000 points. Based on that, people are making their projections. I don't know whether those guys are investing or whether they're disinvesting. All the mutual fund guys who come and talk or strategists who come and talk, I don't know whether those guys are actually selling off their funds. They should actually close their funds. If they're so sure that Fed is going to increase interest rates, so the market will come down. Then on what basis are they coming to you and asking you to put money into their funds? So nobody questions that, right? So people will come and give some projection and walk away. There is no accountability. People like you and me, we put our hard-earned money, and we have to think 100 times. When I put 1 rupee, when I say I'm buying some public sector bank, I would have done so much of research to put that 1 rupee, because it's hard-earned money. So when I tell you something, I'm not saying that I'm an authority. I'm only saying from my experience, I'm telling you. You will see number of people who come and on TV, they'll say, I'm very bearish on the market, 2,000 points will go down. If it's going to go 2,000 points, why are you holding my funds? Please close that fund and give back the money. No. Give back the money. But that they don't do. So it's not so simple that US Fed will increase, so therefore markets will come down. It doesn't work like that. I gave you an example, 2015 to 2018, 4 years, FII in a secondary market negative. Fed raised interest rate 9 times. There was a QT, quantitative tightening for 2 years. Okay. So then how is it that the market went up during that time? So there is no one-to-one correlation. It has to go deeper. See, I've been here 33 years, sir. I still don't understand the market. I'm thinking every day, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? How can I improve my this one? Somebody will come and say something and we believe that. So be it. I mean, people want to believe, let them believe.
Yeah, I have seen the market for more than 33 years. I have seen Harshad Mehta era, Ketan Parikh and everything. I have seen all ups and downs in the market. My only question is, since they are selling, the markets are not going up. We have fallen about 15-17% from the high. And rupee has also depreciated. So that means for foreign investors, we are down nearly 20-21%. Now, since the Indian market doesn't have depth, and if they sell 15-20,000 crore worth of equity in a day, the market will fall 300-400 points. So basically, I think they are slowly and gradually, selling their equity. That is my opinion. People may differ. I have also seen market. I am not a trader in the market. I only invest some money, but I am not a trader in the market. And what I see is there is a continuous selling by FIIs, and I think the market is going to go down. This is my feeling. That is what I have been feeling. That is why I
correct, Ashwini, correct. No, Ashwini. No. Just because I have seen 33 years, you have seen 33 years, we're not that we're smart. At least I'm not smart. Okay.
I am also not smart.
So therefore, I'm telling you by my own experience, from my heart, I'm telling you. Okay. I have skin in the game. Okay. When I say something, I would have done it. I'm not just saying something. See, you are saying you're an investor. I was a broker, sub-broker, investor, trader, teacher, mentor, everything. So I am wedded to the market. Whatever I've achieved in my life today has come only from the market. I don't have any jagir or somebody has given me some money, nothing. So for me, this is my experience. It doesn't mean I'm right all the time. I'm right only 50% of the time, 50% only. So I would have made minimum 30,000 mistakes in my 30-year career. That is a guarantee. Maybe more also I would have made. But I'm talking from my experience. Now, it doesn't mean that you should listen to me. You should just take it as it is and leave it at this point. I'm giving you data. You told me 14 to 17, which is wrong. You told me 15 to 18, they have bought, which is wrong. I've told you what is the right data. And I have also told you what has happened in the past. Like you are saying the Fed will increase rates.
So that's just a second. I just want to see, I gave you SEBI data. I told you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
SEBI data is wrong. See, SEBI data
is not wrong.
Yeah.
No, SEBI data is not wrong.
I am giving you a wrong data.
No.
Don't mention it otherwise.
No. 1 minute. Wrong means no. Please don't argue with me on this. Okay. See, when somebody gives me something wrong, I'll have to tell you. Okay. I'm very clear on that, sir. I can give respect, but also you must understand. I have told you clearly what that SEBI data is, and I've also explained it. You cannot compare oranges with apples. If you're going to compare, then I'm sorry to say it is not right. That's all I can say. So there is nothing. If I'm wrong, and if you say I'm wrong, I'll have to accept it. No, why I should say no? You can't say I'm wrong. Doesn't matter, sir. I think we'll proceed further.
Thank you, Ashwini ji. Next is Saumen Bhattacharya.
Hey, good evening, sir. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I'm just listening to you since a while now, and I appreciate it a lot. Just a simple query that I have. It's such a psychological thing that I face, and most of my people, my friend, they face while they think of investing. So while the market is falling, they think that it will fall further, and then they will wait for the right time. And by the right time, that doesn't arrive. The market goes up again. So what is your philosophy or criteria to enter and exit the market? That's the simple question, sir.
So Amit Bhai, for 33 years, I've been trying to find out the right this one. See, it's all trial and error, I suppose. You learn it over time. See, you have some criteria. You have. Say, I will look at what the past performance, whether the company is doing well, whether the fundamentals are in place, whether the technicals are in place, whether the sentiment is in place. So those are the based on that I make some assumptions. They may be right, they may be wrong. I am the master of my own fate. That's how I look at it. I also know exactly what you're saying. Everybody looks at momentum. When it's going up, people say it will not come down. When it's coming down, people will not say it will go up. That is the nature of our psychology. Our psychology is like that. No, so we always feel like that. Success builds on success, failure builds on failure. So we have to sit back and see. Okay, in the past, what has happened? When it was continuously coming down, when did it stop? Technicals may tell you that. When did it stop? Fundamentals may tell you that why it is not going up at all after whatever a period of time. Because you expect things will change up and down. No, when it's going up, you will expect it to come down. If it doesn't come down, if it only goes up or if it only goes down, then maybe something has changed in the fundamentals. So I don't know how I can explain in say 5 minutes, but I can broadly tell you that it is not just one part which can decide, how to enter that. So where I'm comfortable, I've entered, and I have taken, as I told you, 50% of my this one will be losses. So I bear that loss and I learn from that and hope that next time I won't make the same mistake again. I think it's. I hope I don't know whether I've answered your question, but that's it.
I got your point. Thank you so much. I understood that technical analysis has to be supported with the fundamentals of the company and the herd mentality wherever the market is going. Anyways, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Next, Mr. Ranganathan.
Hi. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. Like I have one question. Mostly it's related to macroeconomics. Sir, there is a sentiment in the market that in the next 1 year there will be probably a recession going on in US and in the European as well. As well as I see these events in parallel with the 1970s. Basically because when President Nixon removed that.
Vinay, I think you have to mute yourself. CG, you have to mute yourself. There's a lot of disturbance.
When President Nixon in 1970s removed that gold standard, and there was quantitative easing, and then again there was inflation, kind of stagflation. The word for the first time. Do you see similar analogous events happening this time? Basically, will there be a recession in next 1 year or in the coming 6 months? That's my first question.
Thanks, Ranganath, for that question. See, I did a small study on this recession business. See, everybody's scaring us, no? Recession is coming, like the wolf is coming. So in this century,
it's correct.
In this century, there are 3 recessions have happened in recorded. Okay, one was in 2001, one was in 2008-9, and one was in 2020. Okay, so I went through the data. Now, recession is defined as 2 quarters of negative growth. Okay, so negative. So let me talk only of this century. Nixon also I'll answer. So I found out in 2001, recession by third quarter calendar year, it had come down. They declared recession. So let us say if you had bought the Dow Jones at that time, the Dow Jones was about 8,000 at that time. 6 months later, less than 6 months later, the Dow Jones was 10,670. That means 32% it had gone up after the recession was declared. Okay. In 2008-9, again January 2009, they declared. December 2009, they said recession is there. So now in December 2008, they said recession is there. So January 2009, Dow Jones was 8,000 US. And by 6 months later, it was 9,200. So after the recession has been declared, the market has gone up 15%. Now take 2020, which was the worst recession record since Great Depression. In June end 2020, they said recession. That time the Dow Jones was 25,800. By January 2021, that is 6 months later, the Dow Jones was 37,000. So 43%. So it looks like as if we should welcome recession. You know, if recession comes, very good, because when they declare recession, then you buy it and you will make money. This is the easiest method to make money. So therefore, this recession business is meaningless actually, if you ask me, because first of all, recession, there are different recessions. Recession, basically, you are talking of your GDP growth. Somebody say unemployment. Now, the US is saying that they're getting into recession. The analysts are saying so. And see the employment numbers. They're at full peak employment. How can you have a recession with peak employment? Now in India, recessions we were always in recession or always in trouble. But Indian markets have gone up. So it's very difficult to have a correlation between saying recession and therefore markets will come down. There is no correlation whatsoever, in my opinion. Coming back to 1970s of Nixon, those years were very different. There was an oil shock in 1973. There was an oil shock in 1979. So all kinds of problems were there in US in 1970s. Okay, Nixon himself got into trouble and went away. In 1975, he removed the US from gold standard. So those days are gone. I don't think we should compare that with what is happening now. I've given you the last 20-year history. It says you should welcome a recession because you'll make money outside of a recession. And I don't know whether you get a recession. If you get it, maybe you'll get in US. Highly unlikely you'll get in India. So I think India will be decoupled. Not only India, Russia, China, many countries get decoupled from the Europe and in US in this scenario is my feeling, because that is the way it is going.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. PT? Mr.
Hello?
PT.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yes, please.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah. So, Vijay, I had a specific question regarding, our exports. Like a lot of people have mentioned apprehension about the increasing current account deficit and other things, and trade imbalance and whatever. But apart from the traditional exports, which do well, like IT and maybe pharma, now we have seen emergence of new sectors which may be poised for takeoff, like textiles, even defense, some extent automobiles, chemicals, with the PLI scheme and other things. So my question is twofold. One, do you foresee these, this to have an impact on our CAD? Will they contribute in significant way to our forex and earnings and reserves and everything, and the rupee strength? And secondly, do these have any investment opportunities according to you, even sector-wise? If you can please specify. Thank you.
Yeah, PT, thank you for the question. See, basically, if the global slowdown is there, our exports will tend to suffer. There is no doubt about it. So I will be a little careful in trying to invest in export-oriented sectors. That is why I'm a little bit scared to invest in IT sector as a whole. Though I have taken a chance in TCS just for some. TCS incidentally has got a lot of projects domestic. So I am concentrating right now only on domestic-facing industry / stocks and companies, because we are living in very uncertain times, especially with Europe. I'm very scared of Europe, because I think they are doing things which are blatantly wrong. Unless they change course in the next 1 or 2 months, I don't know what will happen to Europe. So I think they'll change course, but nevertheless, assuming that whatever it is today, I wouldn't want to get into any export-oriented sectors per se. I'll really have to go with a fine-tooth comb to find out which are those which will do well. So I have just not put my attention there, because there are a number of companies domestically which are begging to be bought, in my opinion. So I would rather buy them. Anyway, how much one can buy? 20 stocks one can buy. There are more than, much more than 20 good stocks available at very reasonable prices. So I am punting on them. And I put my list of 10 stocks in my Twitter timeline. and you can have a look at it. I call the kindergarten portfolio. That means anybody with little bit of understanding can buy those stocks. So I would like to buy those kind of stocks. I'm sorry, I'm not able to give any specific sectors, but because I'm not focused my attention there, because there is much more here available. Why would I want to focus there? Yeah? Thank you.
So, but my other question was, do these increasing exports, if it happens, would they have a positive impact on our CAD?
Yeah, normally they should have, but I don't know these gems and jewelry and these textiles and they don't contribute much to the CAD. See, software is our biggest one. So if the software does well, then I think it will benefit. The other sectors, I'm not too sure. Even automobiles, hardly anything, right? So I don't know. I have not really done a deep study on that. So I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer your question as well as you want me to answer. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. PT. Next, Mr. Samarth.
Good evening, sir. My question is related to chemical sector. As you have seen, many of these chemical stocks are started their correction much before the broader market. Probably in last year, September, they started corrected due to the margin pressure and and higher raw material prices. Sir, do you see all these chemical companies like Deepak Nitrite or SRF are the good bet for a recovery?
Yes, Samarth sir, thank you for that. Again, this is one sector which I have not paid my attention because again, see, these are this China is a factor there. So and it's very uncertain, and some of these have gone up threefold, fourfold, fivefold. And whatever little knowledge I have about the chemical sector is that these go up like a rocket and come down also like a rocket. So I am a little bit wary of it. Deepak Nitrite is a good company. Deepak Fertilizer, for instance, attracts me more than Deepak Nitrite. I don't have positions in both of them, but I'm just telling you, I'm a little bit wary of this chemical sector. I'm just not able to understand that. And once I can't understand, I just don't go there. My understanding is very limited, sir. I see those companies which are like ITC or Reliance or like Ashok Leyland. These are things which I see every day. So I feel okay. I may do a little bit of research and try to find out those kind of L&T, pharma companies like Sun Pharma. These are the things which we see every day. At least I see every day. So for me, it attracts that. This is my style. It is not that is the style, but this is my style. I'm very comfortable. Chemicals are really not touched. I don't have anything. The only chemical this one which I liked was Kiri Industries, but that is again because they have won some case in Singapore, and I think the shareholders should get rewarded because of that. So that is the only thing which has attracted me. So I'm just keeping a watch on that. I have not bought anything, but I'm just maybe I'll buy some few shares to understand that it's come down in the last 2-3 days. Maybe I will take a chance there to experiment. Other than that, I really don't. I don't know much, sir, on that. I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer fully.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. Nitish?
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Nitish.
Sir, my view is that India is going to be in a very good position in global situation, and I'm very bullish on India right now. And I think rupee dollar is coming down to something like 50 rupees. And what I wanted to ask is like. America is in a very dire state and they are going into recession, and how I don't know how that India can go be very bullish and America will be going down. I don't know how that is going to happen. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, Nish, I'm not as bullish as you are on the rupee. For me, 75 or even 70 is great for me. 50 is, we have not seen 50 for a very long time, maybe 10, 12 years. Maybe it will go there. My limited knowledge says even 75 is a good enough. As I told you about US recession, I am not as pessimistic as many people are. US has passed through many recessions. As I told you, the latest was in 2020. The definition of recession is only by the economists. It means nothing if the underlying economy is doing well, because what they try to capture some data and decide that is a recession. As I told you, if employment numbers are very high and if it is full employment, then I don't know how you can get a recession. So therefore, I am not bearish on US, not hoping that they will get into some very big trouble. The only place where I worry is Europe, because they don't seem to have a cohesive strategy. America is, they can always come out of their problem because dollar is there with them. So maybe they'll decline. But it is, as I said, we may be decoupled in the future, which people may think it is not possible. We have seen Russia, for instance. China is now turning around as far as the stock market is. Incidentally, China stock exchange peaked out in 2007. Okay, so from 2007 to 2022, the global economy has done well. Chinese economy has done well, but Chinese stock market is not done. Okay. So, like Japan has peaked out in 1989. So it is not necessary that all the stock markets will peak out at the same time or bottom out at the same time. I assume that US will do not so badly. Other countries will do well, and India should do reasonably well. While I'm bullish, but I'm not super bullish or something like that. I am positive on India at this point of time, Indian stock market. I hope I've been able to tell you what to do, my thoughts. Yeah, Vinay, I think Vipin, bhai, you can come in the next 5-7 minutes. We'll close it at 10. 15
Fenix,
minutes
sir,
is yours.
in this
Yeah.
discussion is very important to because people are what